I'm Peter John Ross, a filmmaker from Columbus, Ohio. Over 10 years ago, this guy started harassing me online and he never stopped fixating on me. I decided to turn it into a documentary. I've been working on Social Media Monster for the past few years. The series of events are unfolding in real time as I've filed criminal charges against the guy, a Civil Stalking Protection Order, and things are just getting crazier. These are just behind-the-scenes updates to let everybody know what's going on with the film. So for this vlog, I wanted to talk about what's happening with the city of Westerville. I was granted the Civil Stalking Protection Order. It was in the system, and in April, Matthew Berdyck contacted one of my employers who's in Westerville, Ohio, a suburb of Columbus. So he sent angry texts, Facebook messages to the company page, and left angry voicemails.
This is Matthew Berdyck, and I'm going to make an offer to you one time, and I've made this offer to the Columbus Arts Council, to members of WOSU, to local city council, to leaders in the community. There is more going on here, and you need to know about it. Now, if I don't hear back from you, then I'm going to consider you to be an accomplice to Mr. Ross. And so when we start fighting back, and everybody's being told the same thing, we're not going to fight Peter, we're not going to fight Scott Spears. We are going to fight everybody around them. We are going to expose every single human being that's protecting him. That's the mission. That's the only way that we feel that we're going to be able to end this. I lost $20 million because of Mr. Ross. It's time. I'm not taking this anymore. So if you can be civil and you can look at evidence and you can listen, I'll be glad to talk to you. But I'm going to be very clear. If you're not going to address this and you're going to try to ignore it, you and everybody else that's protecting him can expect a loud, powerful, viral war. And with my media resources, you can expect to lose. That's it. And when you do lose, it will be because you didn't care about black people. It will be because you engaged in systemic racism. It'll be because you protected this man. Why am I calling you? Your name is in the credits of the movie, your company. You are involved. 424, I suggest you make the call.
So I just want you to understand that I gave you a fair chance to call me back. It's pretty clear that you don't care if you engage in the harm against African American communities. So I've given you every ability to confirm who I am, what I do, and for you to learn that Mr. Ross is scamming you and that he has involved you and your business in this big public scandal. And obviously you have established that you're untouchable and that you don't care about black people, and that the only way that we are going to get justice is to publicly expose you and Mr. Ross and everybody around you for systemic racism. I just want to point out I have been more than fair. I have been polite. And your only response to me is nothing. And you're basically saying, go fuck yourself. You don't have to care about black people in the city of Columbus. Would like you to know that you are a slime bag and you deserve everything that's coming to you when we start fighting.
So my boss and I, we called the police in Westerville, and they came over and filled out a report. They charged him with violating a Civil Stalking Protection Order. Handed him a thumb drive and a hard copy of the full Civil Stalking Protection Order. So that was on a Wednesday. By Friday, they had charged him and had a warrant for his arrest. Now, it was a misdemeanor, so no extradition from anywhere. But in mid-May, Berdyck found out about the new warrant and went ballistic.
So this is happening in Westerville now. Mr. Ross is building the scheme, and he's building the scam right now. So he managed to scam police into issuing false charges against me, even though there's a ruling which has 3 pages that states that the activity that I'm engaged in is absolutely protected. Now, this has just become wonderful because now every single human being in the city of Westerville is aware of this. There's an investigation happening in Westerville right now. The matter has moved into Westerville. Whether Mr. Ross accepts that is not my problem.
And so the question is raised to city officials in Westerville and the police in Westerville: is Peter John Ross above the law?
He's got this thing that he's doing where he's bouncing it around from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, from court to courts. Columbus Prosecutor's Office, Westerville, Franklin County Courts. He's bouncing around and he's trying to exact a scheme to get me arrested.
Mr. Ross obstructs justice with the Westerville police again. Do you really think that the Westerville police or any other police department that's fallen into this scheme, do you really think they care about whether or not the laws are broken? No, they don't. And then this is how this works. If during that investigation Mr. Ross was found to have committed a crime, if he was found to have made deceptive statements, if he was found to have manipulated, if he was found to have attempted to do anything to obstruct justice in that investigation, he can then be charged with that crime and the charges can be dismissed against me.
The weird thing is that he started emailing the city council in Westerville and the city manager and the police. Here's what's most weird about this. Berdyck thinks he has an excuse because the ruling did say something about how I can't expect him to not contact film festivals or other things related to the film, but he thought, well, that means I can contact his employers because I thanked one of them in the credits of the film. Well, the thing is, I'm in the credits of the film, and he's still not allowed to contact me, so that doesn't make any kind of sense. Berdyck's whole point in being able to contact people about the documentary is he's trying to say that he's angry about how he's being portrayed in the film. He's trying to say that it's not fair for him to be accused of contacting the police and city government hundreds and hundreds of times. And so his way of defending against it in Westerville is to contact the police and city government hundreds of times, even using the exact same email address that he claims is not his in the documentary. Like, this gets super meta. In the documentary, Brian Myers says,
I'd received an email from someone named Matthew Berdyck. He said he was a victim of a hate crime because he's a member of the LGBTQ community. What struck me as odd is usually when someone has a complaint, they get right to the point of what the complaint is. What he led with was basically a summary of his resume.
Here we are in Westerville in 2023, and he's angry about how he's portrayed in the film, and what is the first thing he sends to the Westerville city government? An email with his entire resume trying to convince them that he's important, famous, and powerful. It's the same thing over and over again. I don't understand how he thinks that's a defense to reenact to the exact detail everything he did in the documentary to claim he's not the person that we're portraying him as in the documentary. How does that work in his brain? It doesn't make any sense. But that's what he's going with. Make sure to close it tight. The kid's been running around. She's been getting in the shots like this. Do you see this, Kurt?
Yeah, I see that. Is that going to be the B-roll?
She is going to be my co-pilot. Is she blocking the shot? Oh, little kid. She's not blocking me.
No.